Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to our first episode in season number 2 of the brand new blue Throwdown brand. It's really blue, isn't it? We're here from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, I'm assuming, for our first show. It's a good one. And we are going to start off the brand new era of Throwdown with a, I want to say Attitude Era, probably a little bit before the Attitude Era, isn't it, match, with the British Bulldog taking on Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig. What a match this will be, actually. A really interesting match that I'm looking forward to seeing. And of course, this match is mainly just for rankings. We've got a couple of rankings matches this evening. But of course, our first Throwdown pay-per-view is going to be in the second week of the Universe mode. We've got Adrenaline Rush for you this week, which is our first Adrenaline pay-per-view. Next week, we're going to have our first Throwdown pay-per-view. The week after that, we've got our first Octane pay-per-view. And then on week number 4, we'll have our first Mayhem pay-per-view. So tonight we are going to be deciding the tag team #1 contenders, the women's #1 contender, and the Throwdown Championship #1 contender as well. And then next week we will be looking at the United States Championship #1 contenders. But other matches this evening we've got for you planned. The tag team #1 contendership match will be the Guerillas of Destiny with, of course, Father Haku taking on the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. We're going to see Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin versus Kane in a triple threat match. We've got AJ Lee versus Kimber versus Charlotte versus Bayley versus Natalya versus Nia Jax in a 6-woman over-the-top rope battle royal. Of course, the winner of that one will go on to face off against Becky Lynch at the pay-per-view for the Throwdown Women's Championship. And then our big main event, Fatal 4-Way, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Goldberg and Bray Wyatt. The winner of that one will go on to face off against Zack Sabre Jr. next week for the Throwdown Championship as well. So a big night. There's a lot up for grabs. A lot up for grabs, and it's going to be pretty cool actually. Next we've got a couple of ranking matches. Next week we've got a few more ranking matches for you, and then we will have the United States Championship #1 contendership match, where we'll see Owen Hart versus Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tetsuya Naito. So really good roster. I'm happy with this one. PJ Toby mentioned a few times in the draft that this roster might be a little bit more classical. There's a few more older people in there, but I think I've actually got quite a nice mix. I think I've got a few legends, I've got a few up-and-comers. I've probably got more legends than what I did have before in Throwdown. Throwdown before was the more up-and-coming brand, whereas Mayhem was a more legend-orientated brand. But I think this time we've got much more of a better mix, and I'm happy with it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out over the next couple of weeks especially. So here we are, Throwdown in the incredibly blue arena. How is it too blue? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Of course, the British Bulldog is part of the Hart Foundation stable, but I would like to see British Bulldog do some more in this universe mode, which is why I've given him this singles match straight away to prove what he can do. Of course, in the rankings, this is a one-on-one match. The winner will get 5 points, and the loser will lose 5 points on their rankings. Of course, if you want to have a look at the rankings, there will be a link in the description below to all of the blogger pages for the 4 brands. And you'll be able to see exactly who's doing what and where. Of course, also the point system is going to be on there as well, so you can sort of tell who. We're not going to stay rigid to the rankings, don't get me wrong. The rankings will be a great way for us to think, right, this person deserves a championship match or a championship opportunity. However, we're not going to say for definite whoever's top of the rankings is going to be the #1 contender, because we can't really say that. So it's going to be a way to look at it, but not necessarily a rigid thing we have to stick to, because that'll get a bit boring if everyone knows exactly who's going to win the championship match. So we will do that. Of course, we have had a couple of dark matches here this evening already. We have had the new tag team I put together of the Giants, which is the Big Show and Andre the Giant, with their manager Bobby the Brain Heenan, have defeated the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, so they've got some points in the ranking system. And a big win for Eric Rowan in a Fatal 4-Way against Papa Shango, the Big Boss Man, and Bo Dallas as well. So Eric Rowan instantly getting a lot of points. I think you get, if I put it down, 20 points for a Fatal 4-Way. I think it's 20 points for a Fatal 4-Way. However, it's halved because it was a dark match. We got 10 points for that, Eric Rowan, which is still going to put him in a very strong position here this evening. Of course, the way the ranking system works, we've got a Fatal 4-Way in the main event. Because it's the main event, it gets double points, and the winner will get 20 points. Of course, the winning the match doubled it will be 40 points, which will put them right at the top of the rankings, right underneath Zack Sabre Jr. anyway. So it's looking pretty good. This universe, I'm so excited for this universe mode. I'm really, it's been a long time since I've really, I'm not saying that I'm not looking forward to doing these episodes, but it's been a long time since I've really can't wait to get on and start recording these shows, because I really want to see how this all pans out, and it's just so much variation now, and I think the fact of spreading the talent around is definitely going to help us out as well. Everyone's going to get an opportunity. We're sort of pre-planning a lot of the cards, myself and PJ Toby as well, to make sure that we do get a lot of people wrestling over time. Running power slam there by the British Bulldog on Curt Hennig. This could be all. The referee's down. 1, 2, and no, Hennig kicked out. Wow. Bulldog can't believe he's lucky. Thought he had that one. And in fairness, I thought he had it as well. Bulldog with a kick to the back of Curt Hennig. Now an elbow to the back as well. And another elbow to the spine of Hennig. Bulldog in firm control of this one, but can he do enough to finish Hennig off? Or one perfect plex be enough to turn this whole thing round? I just realised I do have Bo Dallas. No, what am I even talking about? Shut up. Shut up. Ignore me. Ignore me. I got some big matches for you next week as well, including Mil Muertes versus The Undertaker next week. As well, Hennig is really busted open now. Also, Brian Pillman versus Sabu I'm looking forward to next week as well. So, we've got a really, really good set of matches lined up. Like I said, me and PJ Toby have tried to pre-plan a couple of weeks ahead to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity, and then we can sort of make sure the whole thing runs a bit smoother as well. And like I say, we really want to make sure that everyone gets the opportunities. And the fact that everyone out there watching this right now has a chance to see one of their favourite wrestlers, because everyone has different favourite wrestlers. Like one of my favourite wrestlers is Luke Harper. I know a lot of other people don't like Luke Harper, but he'll get these opportunities, as one of the people that I don't like so much. There's the perfect plex. Is that going to be enough? 1, 2. No, it's only a 2 count as well. Both these guys desperate to get the victory in this first match of Season 2 of the SWE Universe mode here on WWE 2K17. And Hennig now taking some control of this match, although he is bleeding quite heavily. And of course, the longer that bleeding happens, the more energy he's going to lose. Hennig now, big vertical suplex on Bulldog, now bringing Bulldog back up to his feet. Hennig takes him up. Oh, and a pile driver on Bulldog. See, I'd like to see Bulldog potentially have an opportunity at the United States Championship at some point, of course currently being held by Austin Aries, who will be defending the belt next week, of course, at our pay-per-view. But I don't know, we'll have to wait and see what sort of happens. I think if we did like we could sort of rig it. The thing is, it wouldn't really work, but I was saying we could really rig it and have Bulldog challenge for the United States Championship, but it probably wouldn't work as well if I could steal him over to Octane. That'd be fantastic. Steal him over to Octane and then bring in him for the European Championship. I would love to have had him on Octane for the European Championship. But that's what happens, I suppose. He's part of this group, and I like it actually. I think seeing Bulldog here is a really good thing for him on Throwdown. And there is the second running power slam of the match, and surely this time Bulldog is going to pick up the victory. 2 and 3, and the British Bulldog does pick up the victory in the opening match of Season 2 of SWE Throwdown, defeating, of course, Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig. Not so perfect this evening, was he? So that means now that the British Bulldog will be gaining 5 points in the ranking system, and it means that Curt Hennig will be minus 5 points in the ranking system. So that's not very good for Hennig. It's not the start he was hoping for here. But it was a good back and forth match actually, and there was a couple of occasions where I thought either or was going to win this one, but eventually there was the perfect plex, which Bulldog managed to power out of a 2. But then the second running power slam, it was very much a back and forth. Both guys had their opportunities, but it was Davey Boy Smith that took the final chance and picked up the victory. Yeah, good old. I'm happy. I'm happy as a Brit myself. Seeing Bulldog being the man to win the first match of the Throwdown Season 2 is good for me. And like I said, I think we'll try and push him on and see how things go. And who knows, maybe he might be able to force his way into the upper mid-card championship picture at some point. Who knows? Maybe even go for the Throwdown championship. Sky's the limit here for Bulldog. And here's our next match. It is going to be the tag team #1 contendership match as the Guerillas of Destiny take on the Outsiders. And Haku will be at ringside for the Guerillas of Destiny. And here we go. Now I'm hoping this is going to work properly because I've been having a few problems with Guerillas of Destiny. For some reason the stable's not showing up in the stable list anymore. But they are classed as a stable. There we go, yeah, it has actually worked. They just don't seem to want to show up on the stable list for some reason. But there you go. There you go, it's all fine. There they are, of course, you've got Tama Tonga on the right, Tangaroa on the left, and of course their father Haku bringing up the rear. A real force to be reckoned with, I think, in this universe mode. Only came in as part of the Shabby Shake-Up about 2/3 way through Season 1 of this universe mode. But I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to get on here. Because the Outsiders, again, are a force to be reckoned with. And of course the winners of this one will go on to face off against Red Dragon next week for the Throwdown Tag Team Championships. Of course Red Dragon only won the belts a couple of weeks back at the SWE Evolution pay-per-view. And they're going to have a pretty stiff competition to fight against straight away. And here they come, the Outsiders. Kevin Nash there on the left and Scott Hall bringing up the rear on the right. Just an outstanding tag team. An outstanding tag team. I've always classed Kevin Nash as a little bit overrated, to be brutally honest with you, but there you go. But still, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how this one pans out. And who's going to go on to face off against Red Dragon? Of course, the problem is we're starting a brand new universe mode because obviously we brought in the Broken Hardys and they deleted my save file. We've had to start a brand new universe mode, which means a lot of the momentum has disappeared, which is going to be a problem, I think. But at the same time, it might not. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. It puts everyone back on a level playing field, basically. So everyone who did fantastically well in Season 1, it's going to sort of drop away a bit in Season 2 by the looks of it. I think the fact that we're doing individual pay-per-views for each brand and only one night of 7 matches as well, rather than the 5-night shows we were doing, means that momentum is going to be taken into the pay-per-views as well, which is going to be pretty good, I think. But it also means that people that are winning these #1 contendership matches might actually end up having a little bit more momentum than the champions going into the first pay-per-views. But after that, it should open up a little bit more. So here we go. We're going to start things off with Tama Tonga and Kevin Nash in the ring. Referee rings the bell and we are underway. See, Tama Tonga's quite a big lad, but losing a height advantage here to Kevin Nash. Tonga slamming the knee of Nash into the mat and a big boot into the chest as well. And Tama Tonga taking firm control of this match early on. It's interesting to see what kind of effect that Haku will have on this match as well. Is he just there for a supportive role to try and help his kids basically get themselves a championship opportunity? Or will he physically get involved in the match? Will he be distracting the referee at some point? It's all going to be a wait-and-see situation at this point in time, I suppose. But at the moment, Kevin Nash has barely been off the mat as Tama Tonga has just completely annihilated him, really. Tonga now bringing Nash back up to his feet. And a big spinning rock bottom style move there by Tama Tonga straight into the pin. Looking for an early win. A 2 count over Kevin Nash this early in the match is actually pretty good. Actually pretty good. So don't forget, we still have 3 more big matches for you this evening after this one. We have got next Ambrose versus Corbin versus Kane in a triple threat match. We have got Kimberly, AJ Lee, Charlotte, Bayley, Natalya and Nia Jax in a women's 6-way battle royal. The winner that will take on Becky Lynch next week for the Throwdown Women's Championship. And of course Joe versus Punk versus Goldberg versus Wyatt. The winner of that one will be getting themselves a championship opportunity at the pay-per-view next week as well. Scott Hall now just stamping on Tama Tonga, and now finally Nash able to get out of the ring, bringing in the freshman Scott Hall, who does take control of Tama Tonga. Tonga dominated this match for quite a lot of the early proceedings. Nash really struggled. And Hall now the electric chair drop as well. So of course, if you've not already seen it, we have already uploaded an episode of Mayhem and an episode of Octane. And in a couple of days' time, we've got your first episode of the brand new brand, which will be Adrenaline. Of course, also picked by PJ Toby, but you couldn't tell really because he's picked a much different roster to what he ever did for Mayhem originally. So a very interesting roster he's got there. And he also has, 2 days after that first episode of Adrenaline, we've got Adrenaline's first ever pay-per-view. And he has got a hell of a card lined up for you in that pay-per-view. I mean, a hell of a card. In comes Tangaroa. It's a jawbreaker there by Tama Tonga on Scott Hall. Now what can Tangaroa do? Oh, using his strength there to deadlift Scott Hall up into that powerbomb. On Kevin Nash with a cheap shot right to the back of the head of Roa. What is he doing going to the... He actually managed to pull it off. He went to the corner that Kevin Nash was in, which probably wasn't the wisest move by him. But he managed to get away with it there. And a big boot to the back of Scott Hall as well. Tama Tonga now working over the crowd. Trying to get them a bit G'd up for this one. Tangaroa headbutt to the gut of Scott Hall, and once again the Guerillas of Destiny taking control of this match. Now I will say Haku will be having a match next week at the pay-per-view. That's the first time we're going to officially see Haku inside the ring, and my god is it a match. It's going to be for the Hardcore Championship here on Throwdown. Of course currently vacant, the only belt on Throwdown that is currently vacant. It's going to be Haku versus Cactus Jack versus Abdullah the Butcher versus Bruiser Brody for the Throwdown Hardcore Championship. My god, that match is going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. Jawbreaker there by Tangaroa, now sending Kevin Nash into the corner. Knee to the face of Nash. Again sending Nash in, but Nash back with the back elbow. And now a couple of big knees into the gut and a big knee to the face of Tangaroa as well. But he stayed on his feet and running back towards Nash, but Nash shoulder block now into a couple of elbows. Oh, and a big elbow taking Tangaroa down. Nash bringing him back up by the throat. Into the corner. Oh, Roa fighting back. Taking Nash up onto his shoulders, showing some incredible strength here. Oh, and a backbreaker. A fantastic move that was. Roa now launching Nash out of the corner. And a frog splash headbutt. It's an interesting move, not seen that one before. There's the pin on Nash by Roa, and Scott Hall is in quickly enough to break it up. Referee was very slow down there. Tangaroa now lining up Kevin Nash. Up on his shoulder once again. Big Samoan drop. That could be enough here. There's the pin once again. If Roa can get across quickly enough, he can't quite get there to block off Scott Hall. Tangaroa did a fantastic job here, dominating Kevin Nash in the ring. Nash now looking for a neck breaker and catches it as well. And Nash comes along, needs to make the tag out as he does to Scott Hall. Taking a lot of damage so far, this one, Kevin Nash. And of course, our tag team division in this universe mode is going to be pretty strong by the looks of it. We've got, who else? We've got Primetime Players, The Ascension. We've got the Giants and Natural Disasters. Red Dragon, of course. Guerillas of Destiny, The Outsiders. We've got some good tag teams on the go, and who knows, we could even create one or two more. We do have Undertaker and Kane on the same brand, so we could bring back the Brothers of Destruction at some point, should we wish to, which might be a nice little thing to do, actually. Oh, I like that. the Brothers of Destruction. I like that. Scott Hall now knee into the gut of Tangaroa. Now Scott Hall up onto the middle rope himself. And an elbow drop right to the heart. Right to the heart. And he's okay. No, he's not okay. Again with the elbow to the back of the head. Now has him throttled. There's the choke slam by Scott Hall on Tangaroa. Is that going to be enough? There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Nash was there to take out Tama Tonga, but Tangaroa was able to kick out. Obviously not enough damage done yet. But Scott Hall looks like he's lining up for potentially a razor's edge. Looks like he's going for it. Takes him up. Of course, no rope breaks on this universe mode now, just because it makes the game run a bit smoother. There's the pin by Hall. 1, 2, and there it is. Scott Hall gets the pinfall victory over Tangaroa. Kevin Nash distracting Tama Tonga, make it that split second longer, get into the pin, and that was all that was needed to give the Outsiders that big championship match next week at our pay-per-view, which I've not named yet. I'm terrible at naming these pay-per-views. I need to start naming them now, really. Right, let me mark that down. Outsiders. So that means also that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall both going to get 5 points each in the rankings. Tama Tonga, Tangaroa both losing 5 points each in the rankings. And then, of course, in the tag team rankings, I think it's 10 points. 10 points for a tag team win, isn't it? 10 points for a tag team win, and 5 points for the Guerillas of Destiny losing as well. They will drop 5 points. And there it was. And you see Kevin Nash came across, and he made a run which made Tama Tonga have to go a slightly different angle to get round the referee. And that was just a little bit too much for Tama Tonga, and it was a free count. A very good free count there, and the Outsiders are going forward to our pay-per-view, which I think is going to be named based on who's going to win tonight's main event. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at, I think. But a great win there, and we have our first set of #1 contenders. And here is our third match of the evening. It is going to be a triple threat Extreme Rules match. We have got Kane, we have got Baron Corbin, and we have got Dean Ambrose. It's going to be an interesting match, this one. And we're using Retro Kane in this universe mode rather than up-to-date Kane as well, which I prefer Retro Kane. And here we go. So this is going to be an interesting one again. It's going to be, it's basically all down to rankings. It's a triple threat match, so it's worth 10 points to the winner. And 5 points each taken away from both the losers. Which means that the winner of this match will end up 15 points ahead of both their opponents. So it's a big match, really. All guys are pretty much even, I would say, in the middle of the card. Ambrose might drop into the hardcore division here and there, I think, in this universe mode. Obviously with his CZW roots and... well, he's done some pretty sick stuff back in CZW. Baron Corbin, I think, will probably be used in more than upper mid-card, but again, he could drop into the hardcore division if so needed. If he can't really do much in the upper mid-card, then the hardcore definitely a good place for him. And then, of course, Kane. Kane is someone, again, who could quite easily be in the hardcore division, quite easily be upper mid-card, but then also, like I said earlier on, potentially joining back up with his brother, The Undertaker, as the Brothers of Destruction, possibly, as well, which is an interesting idea, because I do have some plans for stuff I would like to do, and maybe we could use Kane and Undertaker to really advance those plans that I have in mind. But we'll see what happens. So Baron Corbin, the first man out, the lone wolf. In my opinion, he's destined to be world champion in SmackDown in the next 12 months. I think it's obvious, isn't it? And he has, alongside Braun Strowman, I think I've said this many times, alongside Braun Strowman, himself and Corbin have both really progressed incredibly since they were brought up to main roster in the draft. Well, Corbin's moved on fantastically since the draft, and Strowman's moved. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They've both done really, really well since they've been basically put on their own and given more opportunity, really. And of course, Strowman is on this roster as well, but we're not going to see him till next week. I had a couple of matches lined up. I had Strowman in with in a match next week, but I might move that match to the pay-per-view and move it when the pay-per-view match is back, because I just noticed there's a pretty dodgy one on the pay-per-view that might be worth dropping back. I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to switch that match. I'm going to do a little line so I don't forget. This one here. Switch with that one here. Because I've got a dodgy Fatal 4-Way match on the pay-per-view, and I've got a really strong triple threat match next week on the normal show. So I'm thinking the dodgy Fatal 4-Way might as well go on the on the weekly show. Then the really good triple threat match should go on the pay-per-view, really. And there he is, of course, the Devil's favourite demon, Kane. Here on Throwdown. He would have suited Mayhem more, wouldn't he, really, with the flames and that, but there you go. There you go. We're not going to force people into brands they shouldn't be in. And of course, the third and final member of the match is going to be Mr. Dean Ambrose, who for some reason is still holding that belt. No matter how many times I've vacated that belt so many bloody times now, and he keeps... I don't even know what to say to you anymore, I really don't. I just don't even know what to say to you anymore. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to try and mess around with it a bit more. And does that going to mean... Oh, this is going to get badly, isn't it? I'm just thinking, does that mean now that Charlotte's going to be wearing the Women's Championship in the next match? And Joe's going to be wearing the NXT Championship? No, it's going to... Oh, no. I hope not, because this belt is vacant. It might just be this one belt that's bugging out, but that belt is vacant. I don't know. The belt doesn't even exist in this universe mode. It's old. It's from that dodgy other company that no one cares about. Right, the bell goes. We are underway. Triple threat match. It is Extreme Rules. So no disqualifications, no countouts, of course, which is the normal rules of a triple threat anyway, which is why I did it. But pinfalls and submissions must take place in the ring. Kane is launching Dean Ambrose out of the way. And now the two big men go at it now in the middle of the ring. Baron Corbin and Kane. Corbin coming out on top. And Ambrose went for him then, decided, you know what? Ambrose decided, I'm just going to step back and let him go for it. And Corbin now taking Ambrose up on his shoulders, now dropping him down in that Samoan drop. Corbin sending Kane across the ring, and Ambrose once again just backing away, just letting the two big men go for it, then just picking his opportunity with that sit-out scoop slam. Kane now with a Saito suplex on Dean Ambrose. Big knee to the face of Baron Corbin. And now Kane looking like he's going to go for a camel clutch submission. Just wrenching back at the neck of Corbin, but Corbin manages to slide out. And Corbin and Ambrose, who have feuded a bit, haven't they, over the last year or so since the draft? And the shake-up was good in WWE. It just, I like a full different draft, because we've got a lot of different people now in these rosters, of course. Corbin was brought into Throwdown as part of the shake-up. I only think it had one match, I think. Kane wasn't involved in the last Universe mode at all, and Dean Ambrose was brought in as a part of the shake-up for PJ Toby's brand. I think he only had one match as well. Ambrose now making his way up into the top rope. Kane's down on the outside. Can Ambrose take advantage here? Maybe steal this victory away from Baron Corbin. Ambrose diving elbow from the top. Now Kane rolls back into the ring. Ambrose goes for the pin, but Kane obviously breaks it up straight away. Ambrose now butterfly. That's the dirty deeds. What matter butterfly DDT? That's the dirty deeds on Kane. 1, 2. Oh, Corbin was not with it at all. But luckily for Corbin, Kane was able to kick out of that one. It was Dean Ambrose could have had this one won. Corbin now up on the corner, taunting the crowd as Dean Ambrose continues to work over the monster Kane. Kane sending Ambrose over his shoulders. Nice backbreaker there by Baron Corbin as well. Corbin brings Kane back up to a kneeling base. And Kane fighting back. You don't want to get into a fist fight with Kane, but Corbin really, it's not the situation you want to be in. Baron Corbin, sit out front suplex. Now Corbin just stomping the grounded Kane, but Ambrose comes in just in time to break that one up. Corbin now sending Ambrose into the corner. staring Ambrose down before dragging him out in the front chancery now into looks like to be a backbreaker, and it is. Kane back up on his feet and straight into a deep six there by Baron Corbin, but Ambrose had just got back up, but Corbin almost sneaking it there with that deep six. I'm not quite sure if Kane would have got back up. Ambrose dropping Corbin flat on his face, now going for the pin on Kane as well, and only a 2 count. Ambrose nearly stealing Corbin's win there. Corbin hit the deep six on Kane. Now Ambrose on his way up to the top. Corbin catching Dean Ambrose unawares, taking him off the top rope. Corbin, big Samoan drop now on Kane. Ambrose catching Corbin into a neck break. Been pretty good matchups between these three. I wasn't expecting it to be so good, and Ambrose now with a pin. It's only a 1 count. It was 3 guys that I wanted to put together. I thought it'd be an interesting triple threat match, but to be honest, I weren't sure if it was going to work or not. But the 3 guys seem to be linking quite well together. No weapons used as yet, though. This is Extreme Rules. I expected maybe Ambrose for definite to try and get himself an equalizer against the 2 men that are obviously quite a chunk bigger than him. Kane creeping up behind Baron Corbin now. There's a Russian leg sweep on Kane, looking to line up Corbin. Ambrose is still down on the outside. If Kane can hit this chokeslam and go for a pin, but Ambrose is stirring on the outside. There's the chokeslam by Kane into the pin. I don't know if Ambrose is going to get there in time. Oh, referee was so slowed down, and Ambrose was there to get to Kane. Kane cannot be happy with the referee there because he could have had this match won. Ambrose now joining Kane up on that top turnbuckle. Oh my word. Super butterfly suplex, and my word, Baron Corbin just rolled out the way of that one. Ambrose now, I thought he was going to drop. Oh my god, he caught Baron Corbin's neck on that top rope. Ambrose now just dropping his leg across the knee of Baron Corbin. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for the pin now, just slamming the head of Corbin into the mat. Ambrose bringing Corbin back up to his feet. Into the turnbuckle he goes. Ambrose just some clubbing blows to the back of Corbin. He's not really taking his opportunity well here, Ambrose. He probably should have finished Corbin off while he had the chance. There's a dirty deeds there by Ambrose. Kane was there to stop Ambrose doing anything before he even tried the pin. Now, Ambrose going for the pin on Kane. He's got both men down. 1, 2. Oh, and again, it's only a 2 count. Kane kicked out. Boot in the back there by Ambrose on Kane, who just completely no-sold it, then got straight back up to his feet. Knee to the face of Ambrose, but Ambrose reversed and sending Kane into the corner. Corbin just standing now, watching Ambrose attacking Kane in the corner. Ambrose with the clubbing blow to the back of Kane. Russian leg sweep by Ambrose as well now. Into the pin. Is this going to be enough? Ambrose looks like the one man in this one. Although he's a lot smaller, he looks like the one man who's most likely to win this match at the moment. Oh, there it is. End of days out of nowhere. Kane's down on the outside. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Corbin cannot be happy with that. No, he's going to go for some weapons. Corbin has got a baseball bat. Kane sees the opportunity to run. He gets himself a steel chair. Kane glitches through the ropes. Kane now has a hold of Baron Corbin. Ambrose is down. Kane with a choke slam. Kane with a pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Kane picks up the victory in this triple threat match. Ambrose looks very, very likely to win it. Corbin, I thought, had won it with the end of days, but Kane was the man utilising the chokeslam to get the victory, and that's a big win for Kane because that is instantly going to put him a decent way at the rankings. He's going to get 10 points for this victory. Both Corbin and Ambrose are going to lose 5 points, so that puts Kane 15 points ahead of these two. Puts Kane up onto 110, I believe, because everyone starts on 100, of course, so I could tell that. There was that big choke slam. You see Ambrose is down anyway. Kane took his opportunity. Ambrose starting to stir, but he just had no chance in getting back up. And there we go. The Devil's favourite demon, Glenn Jacobs, picks up the victory. I like Retro Kane. I do like Retro Kane. Watch out, Chinese referee, or Japanese referee, sorry, should I say. You're about to get burnt in there. Big win. And it also means now that we have 2 #1 contendership matches coming up for you in a row. Let's go. And here it is, the 6-woman over the top rope battle royal. The winner of this one will go on to face off against Becky Lynch next week at the pay-per-view for the Throwdown Women's Championship. It's Natalya, Charlotte, AJ Lee, Kimberly Frankel, I think her name is now, Bayley, and Nia Jax. And here we go. We're probably going to skip a little bit of each entrance. We didn't see the whole entrance, do we, for 6 people, do we? But of course, starting things off, we have got AJ Lee. Somebody who I can't believe we forgot in the original draft of Season 1. It was a bit crazy, really, wasn't it? But she's here now anyway. She came in as part of the Shabby Shake-Up. Never really got a massive opportunity, but now she's going to be here for this entirety of the universe. And I think she's going to be a very strong member of the Throwdown Women's roster. Next up, we have got somebody who's yet to make a massive impact so far in NXT. But still someone who I think going forward is going to do a very good job. She's had a couple of matches here and there, but only really putting other people over. It is Kimberly Frankel, or if you will, Kimberly from the indie scene. A very good member of the roster, and somebody who I think could throw a spanner in the works for someone like AJ Lee here this evening. And next up, we are going to have, who's it next? I think it is Charlotte. So Charlotte's someone again who's glitched because the belts keep bloody appearing when they shouldn't be appearing. Oh, I don't know. This game frustrates the tits off me, it really does. But ignore that, she is not the women's champion. She's left that dodgy old WWE company now. She's now working for the good company, SWE. And she has a chance here to win an opportunity to get the actual gold, the proper gold that means something, not these dodgy replica belts she brought from the merchandise stand outside. No, she's going to get a proper belt. If she can win this match here this evening and go on to defeat Becky Lynch next week anyway. But yeah, someone who didn't really do a lot in the last Universe mode, but you never know, she might be able to pull it out of the bag a bit this time. Next up, we have got wacky, waving, inflated balloon tube guy woman, I think it is. It looks like it is, yeah. It's Bayley. Somebody who, I don't know, she's sort of not really transitioned onto the main roster very well, has she? She was really over in NXT. But things haven't really necessarily gone very well for her. In our previous Universe mode, she was the previous Throwdown Women's Champion, and now we have her back on Throwdown. She doesn't know what it's like to live on any of a brand. She has been Throwdown through and through for the entire Universe mode, and now we get a chance to see Bayley in action here this evening. Maybe she'll become the first ever Throwdown Women's Champion 2 times. Next up, we are going to have, I think it's Little Natty Neidhart, isn't it? It is. Natalya. Somebody who we stole from Mayhem last time because she was very effective on Mayhem. She even had a Mayhem Women's Championship match at our second pay-per-view, which I think was Shabby Mania. And it was interesting. She's a very strong competitor, and it'd be nice to see her get a bit of gold. It'd be nice to see her used a bit better in real life as well. But tonight could be our night. Who knows? And the 6th and final entrant into the match is going to be... Oh, what has happened here? That was weird. That was really weird. I'm not like most girls. I do something. Yeah, of course it's Nia Jax, someone who they've really been putting over majorly on the main roster in WWE, and I can't remember where she was in our previous Universe mode because I don't think she was ever really used very much, to be honest with you. I got a feeling she may have been on my brand, but I can't honestly remember. Of course, we had her as part of a stable. We had a part of a tag team, didn't we, alongside Tamina towards the end of the last Universe mode. Of course, the women's tag team division no longer exists because of... It's a bit tricky across 4 different brands to have a women's tag team division, and none of the brands have enough women to really warrant having a women's tag team division either. So that's why there's no women's tag team division. But it means that we do have 4 individual women's singles divisions, which I think is good because, I mean, every brand now has about between 8 and 10 females on their roster, which means that we're going to see a lot more of them a lot more often because they weren't getting a lot of matches before, let's face it. So this is it then. AJ Lee, Bayley. Is that it? Oh, we're going to see them too, are we then? 6 women over the top rope battle royal, and Natalya straight away going after Kimber Frankel. Now, of course, all the 5 losers from this one will lose 5 points in the rankings. But the winner, I believe, will they get 30? Is that how I set it up? I can't honestly remember. Let me have a quick look, see if I can load it up. Because I've lost my screens. Because everything's been breaking down on me recently, to be honest with you. Not just my PS4, but I got some sort of dodgy adware on my Google Chrome, so I had to delete Google Chrome and reinstall it because it was really, really bad. It was. Right, so women's Throwdown. I'm actually on the Throwdown screen straight away. That's pretty good. There's 3 women that are attempted to be eliminated right now, but 2 of them survive. Can Charlotte survive as well? Charlotte does survive. Yeah, the winner of this one will get 30 points. So that will firmly put them in as a number 1 contender, really, won't it, really? But not only that, but it will put them forward for quite some time as well. Of course, we do have 3 more ladies on our roster that are not involved in this match here this evening. And those 3 ladies will be in a dark match next week. And they are Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, and Eve Marie. So a chance for them to get a bit of stats, a bit of didgeridoos, a bit of ranking points. That's the word I'm looking for next week. Of course, it is a dark match. They won't get a huge amount. They'll only get 5 points winning that triple threat. But it's still 5 points more than the other 2 will get. And of course, it will mean after that match, the winner of this one will be 2nd in the rankings. Of course, Becky Lynch will be number 1 in the rankings, and the winner of that dark match next week will be number 3 in the rankings. So it's a real big match, actually. Even though it's a dark match, it really is going to make a big difference to the rankings, and somebody a little bit weaker might get an opportunity going forward. It's a little bit weaker. It's a bit harsh, isn't it, really? Unless it's Eve Marie, then it's definitely weaker. Kimber Lee there with a... Oh, that's cool. So I always call it a sunset flip bomb, but I know it's got a specific name. AJ Lee now. Oh, there goes Charlotte. Charlotte is eliminated here by Bayley. Charlotte is distraught now as AJ Lee trying to force Nia Jax off the apron, but Jax fighting back. And Charlotte will not be happy being eliminated for this. I would have put her down as a favourite, to be honest with you, alongside maybe... I don't know, it's tricky. I would say the favourites for this one, in my opinion, would have been Charlotte and AJ Lee. Maybe Nia Jax, maybe? Just as a brute force. It's a bit more difficult to eliminate because she's a bit heavier, and to get her over that top rope is going to be a bit more difficult. Natalya now doing some squats while she has Bayley up in the air. Big front slam there by Nia Jax. Stamping on the knees of AJ Lee. They now stamping on the back of Kimber Lee as well, but Kimber Lee's fighting back. Natalya trying to force Bayley over the top, and now Kimber Lee helping Natalya. Can the 2 of them eliminate? No, Bayley fighting back as well. So of course it was Becky Lynch who won the belt away from Alexa Bliss at the Evolution pay-per-view. But it was Alexa Bliss who took that belt away from Bayley. So Bayley... Was Bayley our first? No, Bayley was our second, didn't she? Because Jade was our first ever women's champion. And Bayley was our second. And then Alexa Fox, Alexa Bliss was our third. And it looks like Kimber Lee is going to work alongside anybody who will take her at the moment, as she's helping now Bayley assault Natalya. As AJ Lee looking to eliminate Nia Jax, but Jax fighting back. That's a dangerous thing to do in this type of match there, Kimber Lee. Standing up on that middle rope, it just takes one person to walk up behind you and just push you over, as Oh, Nia Jax has AJ Lee. Oh my god, just scoop slammed it over the top. Wow. Nia Jax has just demolished AJ Lee there. Nia Jax is in a great vein of form now, just flattening Kimber Lee. As Natalya looking to eliminate Bayley. Once again, Bayley fighting her way back in, but scoop slam by Nia Jax over the top rope on AJ Lee. And the two that I put down as favourites have both been eliminated first and second. Crazy. Kimber Lee now bringing Nia Jax back up to her feet. Over the top goes Nia. Can Kimber Lee be the woman to eliminate Nia Jax? If it was, that would be all the favourites, in my opinion, out. No, Nia Jax does fight back. Nia Jax backdrop on Kimber Lee Frankel. Kimber Lee Frankel. It's still difficult for me. I remember it's Kimber Lee. Kimber Lee. There's now Bayley. Oh, Hurricanrana's Natalya over the top rope. We've got a match here of all the finisher eliminations, and now we've got Kimber Lee, Bayley, and Nia Jax are the final three in the match. Nice kick there by Kimber Lee. They turned her back on Bayley now, and Bayley with a shin breaker on Kimber Lee. Bayley bringing Kimber Lee up to her feet. She going for here? Ooh, no, maybe not. Suplex by Kimber Lee on Bayley, and Nia Jax was waiting, stalking. Russian leg sweep, and I think she leg dropped Bayley at the same time there. Now I think it would be beneficial potentially for Kimber Lee and Bayley to work together, maybe to eliminate Nia Jax, the bigger threat in the match, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Bayley now bringing Kimber Lee up to her feet. And there's the backbreaker. Again, Bayley bringing Kimber Lee up to her feet. Now looking for the elimination. Bayley's going for it, and oh, Kimber Lee fighting back well. Now Nia Jax is going to have a try. Nia sending Kimber Lee over the top. Has Bayley taken the top turnbuckle pad off? And Bayley, is she going to help Nia? Bayley doesn't seem to know what to do here. She doesn't seem to want to help Nia Jax eliminate Kimber Lee, but it doesn't matter because Nia Jax has eliminated Kimber Lee anyway. We are down to Bayley and Nia Jax, and straight away Nia sending Bayley over the top. Is Nia Jax going to win this one and go on to face off against Becky Lynch for the Women's Championship here? No, Bayley's holding on. Bayley holding on for dear life and does roll back into the ring. Now Bayley sending Nia Jax straight into the turnbuckle. She took the pad off. Bayley now suplex. Wow. Stamping on the face of Nia Jax as well. And a running drop kick. Bayley bringing Jax back up to her feet. Over the top she goes. And Bayley not able to eliminate her. Now Nia's going to have an opportunity as well. I just have a feeling this is going to be Nia Jax's night, you know. I really do. Bayley once again holding on for dear life. Both these ladies have done terrifically well. I think, in fairness, these have been the two best in the match so far. They've had the best eliminations. And I think the winner of this one really does deserve that opportunity. As Nia Jax now fighting Bayley back, and big shoulder block. Bayley fighting back with that right hand into the guts. Now sending Nia Jax into the corner. Bayley, Bayley clotheslines Nia Jax over the top rope, and Bayley is going on for a championship match against Becky Lynch next week at the pay-per-view. Nia Jax is not impressed, as you can see. Wow. What a win that is for Bayley. Not expecting that at all. And she has the opportunity now to become the first ever... Oh, look at that elimination. She has the opportunity now to become the first ever two-time Throwdown Women's Champion when she takes on Becky Lynch next week. at the pay-per-view. Of course, we've got one more weekly show before the pay-per-view because we've got... That's a really dodgy camera, isn't it? There we go. Here's the elimination that won the match. Bayley just clotheslining Nia Jax over the top. Yeah, we've got one more episode of Throwdown before that pay-per-view next week. And this is a very good win for Bayley. Incredibly good win. Was not expecting that. I did not have Bayley down as a favourite for this one. Had it down as a dark horse maybe, but not a favourite at all. And Bayley versus Becky Lynch is coming. But now, it is main event time. Who will be facing off against Zack Sabre Jr. for the Throwdown Championship? We've got Goldberg, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, or Bray Wyatt. And here we go. Samoa Joe makes his way out first in what could be a massive match here. Of course, Samoa Joe is a former Mayhem champion. CM Punk also a former Mayhem champion. And yeah, once again, why not? Why not just break everything, eh? WWE. Oh, I don't know. I don't freaking know. Just ignore that belt. Joe is no longer working for that dodgy old company. Again, he must have picked up a replica belt backstage. Was very happy with it, so he thought he'd wear it out here. But no, he is not the NXT champion. He's fighting to become the Throwdown champion. And the winner here this evening will not only become the #1 contender, but they'll also be top of the rankings behind only Zack Sabre Jr., the current champion. So it's a big match. Yeah, like I said, Joe and Punk both former Mayhem champions. Bray Wyatt did pretty well here and there on Throwdown, but never really had a big opportunity. And of course, Goldberg didn't do absolute anything in the last Universe Man, I don't think. I think we were excited to have Goldberg on the game, but then when we sort of really realised that when he came back his run was going to be such a disaster, I think we were quite happy when he disappeared, to be honest with you. But there you go. And here comes, of course, CM Punk. Again, like I said, former Mayhem champion. Got a feeling he might have been former two-time Mayhem champion, you know. I'm going to have a look on the championship history, which is readily available down in the below, in the comment section. See? Nice little plug there. Nice little plug. And where is it? Mayhem championship history. Yeah, CM Punk held it for 4 weeks, then lost it to Samoa Joe. Then Joe lost it back to Punk, and then Punk lost it to Brock Lesnar at the Evolution pay-per-view. And Lesnar is the current champion. Is that right? So yeah, Punk, two-time full Mayhem champion. Samoa Joe, former one-time Mayhem champion. Punk is probably the... If Punk could do this here this evening as well, then Punk could potentially be the most successful man in our universe. I think he already is the most successful man in our universe, to be honest with you. Holding the championship twice. And here comes Mr. Goldberg. Again, can't be asked to be ready at the curtain when we want him to, so we're about to send the police to go and give him a knock. That Ty Dillinger in the back corner, back right hand corner. He had nothing to do today, so we just put him in this match as like the old. Oh, there he is. He came out quick, didn't he? So Goldberg gets a chance today to see what he can actually do, and I think that's the best thing about having these rosters a lot more open. Every roster's got about 60 odd people, I think, which is good, and about 7, 8, 9, 10 of those are women. So it means there's a lot more opportunity for other people as well, and I think this match just shows that. Next week, of course, we've got some big matches as well, including Mil Muertes versus The Undertaker, and that Fatal 4-Way United States Championship #1 contendership match I've already mentioned before. Owen Hart, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, and Tetsuya Naito all fight for the right to take on Austin Aries at the pay-per-view, which will probably be named at the end of this match, or maybe by the beginning of next week. So I sort of want the pay-per-view to be named after... I want the pay-per-views to sort of make sense compared to what's happening on them. So that's sort of what I want to do, which is why... Well, I suppose the first pay-per-view this weekend, Adrenaline Rush, is named Adrenaline Rush, mainly because I got very drunk and kept singing it during the draft. We have Octane's first pay-per-view is called Locked and Loaded. Yeah, that'll be on week 3 of the Universe mode because they have an Elimination Chamber match on their pay-per-view. And Throwdown, we will find out very soon. As the Bray Wyatt, there they are. See, it works now. Of course, when we did SWE Evolution, Bray Wyatt competed during the daytime, and that was really weird. It was really, really weird because all of the Fireflies still appeared, but they just appeared a little bit everywhere, which is a bit weird. I need to do... So I just remember there's some stuff I need to change. So I'm just going to write this down quickly while I forget. This is all stuff I've done already, but because the game's been deleted, I've had to redo it all, which is very annoying. The biggest job I need to do still is go through some of the stats of some people, because some people are higher than what I would like to put them, and some people are lower than what I think they should be as well. So there he is, the Eater of Worlds himself, Bray Wyatt. Can he get his first big break here in SWE Throwdown? Here we go. The big match is happening. What a fatal four-way this is. Refereeing's the bell and we are underway. Of course, it is Extreme Rules as well, so it means no disqualifications, no count-outs, but pinfalls and submissions must take place inside the ring. And it looks like we're broken off here. Joe and Wyatt on the outside, Goldberg and CM Punk's there on the inside. Oh, big clothesline there by Joe. Sorry, mate, it's a bit weird. I seem to have got the hiccups again for some reason. It's when I talk too much, I think. When I really go for it. Joe now, great gut wrench. On the outside as Punk looks to be looking for some weaponry. And all four guys now on the outside. Joe and Wyatt back in the middle now. Joe with that reverse suplex on Bray Wyatt. Joe. Oh, all four guys back in the ring now. Joe stamped on the gut of Bray Wyatt. Now, I don't know who would win this. I don't know who I want to win this, to be honest with you. I'm thinking that maybe the CM Punk versus Zack Sabre Jr. match sounds interesting to me, as does the Zack Sabre Jr. match versus Samoa Joe. But I'm not quite sure how I feel about Zack versus Goldberg, or even Zack versus Bray, but we will do whatever the game gives us to do. Bray Wyatt, big clothesline, just flattened CM Punk. Punk with the right hand catching Wyatt, but Goldberg right behind Punk, send him into the corner. Goldberg takes Punk up high. Was Joe out of nowhere trying to catch Bray Wyatt, and Goldberg has Punk up and a super fall-away slam. Wow, Punk just skimmed across the ring like throwing pebbles across the lake. Joe sending Bray into the corner. Hoists him up high. I was going to go for a muscle buster. I thought it was quite early to go for a muscle buster, but there you go. You see Goldberg now just sitting back waiting. He knows that Joe's going to do damage to himself from this height, as well as doing big damage to Bray Wyatt, so it's best for him to really wait. And you see that as well. Bray Wyatt was actually dropped on top of CM Punk as he slid back in the ring. Punk was not paying attention. Oh, Joe Uranagi and Goldberg out the corner. And a single running leg drop kick. Punk now bringing Joe back up into that suplex. Punk dragging Wyatt into a butterfly backbreaker. Now Punk is the only man up, and Punk locking in the Anaconda Vice now on on Bray Wyatt. Goldberg and Samoa Joe are down on the outside. Wyatt could tap here. No, Joe fighting back. Wyatt fighting back with that boot to the back of the head of CM Punk. Now sending right to the outside. And Wyatt continuing the assault on CM Punk, which is a good position here for Samoa Joe, who's up on his feet and stalking grounded Goldberg. And there's that running crossbody by Bray Wyatt on CM Punk. Joe now bringing Goldberg back up to his feet, right back into the corner. We're going to see a muscle buster here, maybe? We are going to see a muscle buster. Joe with Goldberg up. Muscle buster on Goldberg by Joe. Joe sending Punk into the corner. He needs to do some damage quick so he can get this pin on Goldberg. I thought he was going to go for another muscle buster then, but no. Goldberg's taking a lot of damage here, though, and what is Joe going for now? Looks like he's lined up for a super butterfly suplex. And he does hit it as well. Goldberg's back up to his feet by now, though. Goldberg Saito suplex on Samoa Joe. Oh, Bray Wyatt is launching Goldberg over the top. And now Bray Wyatt is the only man left in the ring, up on his feet. Realize he needs to do some damage. He needs to get a hold of someone and get them in the ring and try and win this one while he's got 3 of his opponents on the ground. He needs to get this done. Goldberg fighting back with a boot to the face. Sending Bray back into the ring, and Joe's in as well. And Punk's in. Oh! Goldberg just spearing CM Punk out of his boots. There goes Joe to the outside. Oh, wow. Wyatt following Joe as well. Goldberg's just speared CM Punk. Goldberg now big splash on CM Punk as well. If he goes for the pin here, he could win this. He's not going for the pin though. Joe and Wyatt still fighting on the outside. Goldberg has CM Punk up and down. There's the jackhammer. Joe's not even noticed. 2. Oh, it's kicked out. CM Punk kicked out. We almost got Goldberg versus Zack Sabre Jr. there. Almost. And Punk is busted open though. Bleeding profusely from the forehead now. As Goldberg goes to pin once again. Bray Wyatt breaking it up. The headbutt to the back. And into, I didn't know what that was. Wyatt just threw him basically there, didn't he? And Wyatt once again now just getting hold of CM Punk this time, but Punk fighting back with a knee to the head. Sits him down straight into this submission there as well. Now Punk with a Russian leg sweep on Joe. And Punk in control. He's got all of his opponents grounded now. But he needs to go for the killing blow. He needs to defeat one. But Goldberg slowly getting back up to his feet on the outside. He's back in the ring. Goldberg now catching Joe. Oh, catching Punk, should I say. Fall away slam all the way across the ring. But Punk straight back up, no selling it completely. Now clotheslining, taking Goldberg down. There's the pin. 1, 2. Ooh. Interesting there. Joe went to break it up and completely missed it, I think. Bray Wyatt now sending Joe over the top. And again, Bray Wyatt following Joe. But again, Goldberg has got CM Punk up. There's the jackhammer once again. 1, 2. Bray doesn't get there in time, but CM Punk still kicked out. Is that the second jackhammer CM Punk kicked out of now? That's just a joke, isn't it, really? Goldberg flattening Bray Wyatt. Joe dropping back first on Bray Wyatt now. Then there's the elbows to the forehead. Oh, and Bray's been busted. Oh my god, you see the blood just comes streaming on the forehead there. Bray Wyatt. CM Punk back up on his feet. But gets sent straight into the turnbuckle by Goldberg. Joe went, look like Joe's going to go for a powerbomb there, but Bray Wyatt just fighting free. Oh, Bray Wyatt catching Goldberg. Sister Abigail. Everyone's down. Can Bray win this? 1, 2. Oh, Goldberg kicked out as well. Oh my God. This is too much for me. This is just too much for me. German suplex by Bray Wyatt. I thought he was going to go for the pin once again there, but no. Now Joe and Punk are both back up to their feet. Oh, Samoa Joe just catching Bray Wyatt from behind, but it meant that Wyatt actually dropped Goldberg face first on the mat. Goldberg, a pump handle drop there, straight into the pin on. So CM Punk could almost get the victory again. Nobody wants to lose this match, evidently. Joe, oh my God, Joe used a deadlift strength to powerbomb Bray Wyatt now. Punk has Goldberg up on his shoulders. There's the GTS. If Punk can go for this, Punk does go for the pin. Wyatt's back in though. Oh, Wyatt's got his back to it. Oh, Wyatt, what are you doing? Bray Wyatt had his back to it and didn't even notice the pin was being counted until the last second. But that means that CM Punk is going to our next pay-per-view, which I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but I'm pretty sure it is going to be in Chicago. It's got to be in Chicago now, hasn't it? I'm sure we could book an arena in Chicago at short notice by now, can't we? I can't believe that Punk kicked out of two jackhammers and was still able to do this. But look at the disaster that is Bray Wyatt here. Punk with a pin. Bray Wyatt has his back to it and then goes, oh crap, there's a pinfall, and then completely missed it. And I'm going to completely try and keep selling the fact that he didn't see it and then not the fact that the AI on this game is terrible. But there you go. CM Punk is going on to face Zack Sabre Jr. for the Throwdown Championship. And CM Punk could be the first man to hold 3 world championships in this universe. Man, it's very possible, isn't it? But there we go. That is the end of our first episode of Throwdown. I really enjoyed it, apart from that little tiny dodgy ending there. But still, it was a really, really good show. I'm really happy with it all, how it went. And I think next week we're going to have another incredible show, of course, before the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is going to be big now. We know the pay-per-view, Zack Sabre Jr. will be defending his Throwdown Championship against CM Punk. We know Red Dragon will be defending the Tag Team Championships against the Outsiders. And we know it will be Becky Lynch versus Bayley as well at that pay-per-view. And also announced that Hardcore Championship match of Abdullah the Butcher, Bruiser Brody, Haku and Cactus Jack. And also we've got a triple threat match for you that evening as well, with Triple H, Randy Orton and Bret Hart. And also another triple threat match in Strowman versus Reigns versus Rusev. So a really big pay-per-view coming for you next week as well. Of course, if you want to check out any of the rankings now, they should be updated as of this upload. If not, then they will be updated very, very soon after this. Then please check out the description below. There will be a link to the blogger pages, so definitely go and check those out. There will be also results and all sorts as well down there, and also all the championship histories and a list of all the rosters. Should you be interested to see who's on the rosters as well. And yeah, that's what I'll tell you. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like, and of course if you are new around here and you would love to see some more, then please do hit that subscribe button as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon for our very first episode of SWE Adrenaline. Bye!
The 1, 2, 3.